guest is Andrew Newcomb, an immigration attorney here in the South Bay, who's been very busy, as you can imagine, since Election Day. We should mention, Andrew, that you're giving free advice around Comunidad del Valle, but you do that at the consulate on a continual basis.
Thank you, Damian. Yes, that's correct. On Thursday mornings from 9 to 12, I'm at the San Jose Mexican Consulate, and I offer free consultations. If you have any immigration questions, typically they'll let you in without having otherwise had an appointment. So I'm happy to answer any questions there as well.
All right. So give us your consejos. What should we know? How should we prepare? You kind of mentioned that in a previous segment, but what else can you tell us?
Yes. So one thing that when you think about what could the Trump administration do, we have to look at his first 4 years as a model of the things that he attempted to do. And one thing that he effectively did accomplish was he took away the right of immigration judges to administratively close cases and for the right of ICE attorneys to exercise prosecutorial discretion in deciding to join in those motions to close those cases. And we have a backlog right now of about 3 million removal cases. So what happens when you take away that right from judges and prosecutors to decide which cases they want to prosecute is it causes a huge traffic jam, and no cases are effectively able to move forward, which sometimes can work out for the benefit of an asylum applicant if they have a weak case because they'll be tied up in litigation for years and years. However, if you are someone who's in removal proceedings, either because you came in and you were detained and you were issued a notice to appear and you're pleading your asylum case, or you were referred to a removal court because of some kind of infraction or crime that was committed, if there's any other collateral relief that you have, meaning a petition, visa, any type of immigration benefit that you can show, or just a balance of factors that you have a U.S. citizen spouse, you have children, etc., you should move the court right now in the next 5 weeks to close your case. And they will be very receptive to that motion because they're aware of this horrific traffic jam that's likely going to be caused. And you're very likely to have that case closed, which frees you up to apply in a different direction and effectively eliminates the risk of deportation, Damian. So it's a very important tool.
We had as a guest on the news our legal analyst Stephen Clark, who said, if you've had a DUI or any other criminal offense that you pled guilty to, just to get it over with and move on with your life 10, 15 years ago, you might want to go in and have that not even cleared, but have that plea changed.
Yes, correct. A very important point. Simply having a prior conviction expunged does not have any immigration effect unless it's a discretionary form of relief like visa that can just sort of be a positive factor generally. But if it's something that's going to affect your eligibility for example, an adjustment of status, exactly as you said, you have to go back and reopen those proceedings and have your plea waived or have your plea eliminated based on ineffective assistance of counsel, typically if there's a public defender that didn't advise someone of those immigration consequences. So that's something to consult with a defense attorney about.
All right. We have a couple of minutes. What else should we know, Andrew?
Well, a lot of people were very disappointed about the Biden parole program. Folks that have children here that have been married to a U.S. citizen for over 10 years. This was going to massively decrease the backlog at different consular offices around the world for people hoping to get their green card. And while it's true that program has now been decreed unconstitutional pending appeal, there exists a path for people that are married to U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents, regardless of how much time they've been married to those people. And that path is very well established. It's etched in granite. It's very unlikely that Trump would be able to undo decades-old precedent, which is petitioning your spouse, seeking a waiver of their unlawful presence, which is essentially arguing that you would suffer an extreme hardship if they were to be removed, and finally scheduling them consular processing, which I understand can be very intimidating for people to leave before they have a definite certainty. But we have to compare the paradigm today with the paradigm that existed 10 years ago before 2014, when someone had to go, have their interview be denied, and then apply for their waiver. So they wouldn't even know whether their waiver would be approved, and they'd have to anticipate 6 months in Mexico. So now, by comparison, you have your waiver approved beforehand. If you've consulted with a competent immigration attorney, you basically know 99, 98% you're going to get approved, and you're only there for 7 to 10 days. So it's something that people should definitely start down that path. The waiver processing times are extremely excessive now. I don't want to sugarcoat that, but it's better to start down that path for so many reasons. Having those immigration receipts can be so instrumental in also defending against deportation, to be able to tell the judge, look, I have a process with USCIS. You should close the case and allow me to continue there. On that note, it's very important that people research their own immigration past. Many people never try to apply for an immigration benefit because potentially they were detained at the border previously, and they think that they're not eligible. While it's true that some people detained at the border have orders of expedited removal, that's a power that immigration officers were given after April 1, 1997, not everybody does. And usually there's another aggravating factor that causes you to have one of those. So it's important to investigate your record.
Do your research and buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Andrew Newcomb, thank you so much. Great advice. Appreciate you having you on the show.
Thank you, Damian. Pleased to be here.
Thank you very much. Again, more information. The offices of Andrew Newcomb are right here in the South Bay. You can log on to the website for more information. He is at the consulate every week. We thank you for sharing a part of your Sunday here on